Hello everyone. Are you looking for a community that feels like being on vacation every day with a village centers and system of walking trails and lots of trees and green space, a ton of neighborhood pools, tennis courts, easy access to public transportation and to downtown? Well, look no further than Reston, Virginia.
Yeah. One of my favorite places ever.
I know. Yeah, it is pretty awesome. So it's like very magical there, right? So location. So Reston was ranked by Money Magazine in 2018 as the best place to live in Virginia. It's in Fairfax County, 22 miles northwest of Washington, D.C. The main arteries into Reston are the Dulles Toll Road or the Fairfax County Parkway. There's other ways to reach Reston, but then they involve more local roads, but those are the two main ways. Reston is officially on the Silver Line Metro with 2 stations in Reston. It's got 3 different planning areas. So there's a planned residential community, the Reston Town Center, and then the transit station area. So North Reston is newer and more expensive than South Reston. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. History. Reston was founded in 1964 in response to something called the Garden City Movement, which was an urban planning design. So the goal was to create a satellite community around a large city, which was comprised of residential, commercial, and green space. And so the area of Reston was owned by the Fairfax family until they sold it in 1852. And then Carl, how do you say it, Wiley?
Yeah, that's how I say it.
Okay, Carl Wiley was one of the next owners, and he had a vision for the community, but it didn't come to fruition until before his death in 1901. Eventually, somebody named Robert E. Simon came along and used the money from his family, who'd actually sold Carnegie Hall. That's where they got their money.
So cool.
And he created Reston. So, do you want to tell everybody how Reston got its name, in case they haven't figured it out?
Yeah, Reston got its name from Robert E. Simon's initials.
Rest Town.
Yeah.
Exciting. I wonder if there could be like a Melissa Town. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I think that just lives in your head.
I think you're correct. All right. Tell us about the Reston Association,
Oh my
Mikey.
gosh, this is quite the monster.
Yeah.
The Reston Association is the master association and oversees everything from the pools to the recreation to management and the design guidelines on what you can do for the outside of your house. They are very strict. And a lot of it is tied into the architecture because they do want to keep the facades the way that they are. So the Reston Master Association very much is involved in keeping the community looking the way it is.
And some people love that, but it's not for everybody that doesn't want to be like so tightly managed on what the external parts of their house are going to look like.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we always disclose to our clients, as we're looking to purchase, for Reston, is we really do tell them, like, this is the breakdown, this is what to expect, because we want you to walk in knowing that you're dealing with a sub-association plus a master association, and the annual fee for this is currently $750, and each household within the Reston Association pays this, in addition to any condo or HOA fees for the community in which they reside, like the sub-associations.
Correct, yeah. So you've got kind of 2 different places that you're answering. The Reston Association manages 1,300 acres of open space as well, including woodlands, lakes, and streams. There's 15 pools that are part of the Reston Association.
Crazy.
I know. So.
I've never counted them before until now. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah. No, I had no idea it was that many because I just thought there's, the neighborhoods. We're going to talk about that too. But I just thought each neighborhood had a pool, right?
Yeah.
So, no. Autumnwood, Dogwood, Glade, Golf Course Island, Hunters Woods, Lake Audubon, Lake Newport Pool, Newbridge, North Hills, North Shore, Ridge Heights, Tall Oaks, Uplands, and then there's 2, Shadowwood and Lake Thoreau, which are being currently renovated, but maybe by the time this comes out, they'll be done. There are areas in Reston that aren't part of the Reston Association, which is very fascinating. So Deepwood HOA has 343 townhomes and 6 single-family homes, and they have their own pool, they pay their own HOA dues, and they do not pay the Reston Association dues. Another example is Fox Mill Woods. Yeah. They have their own swim and tennis club. All right, so real estate. So now we're going to talk about the 5 village centers.
Yeah.
Michael?
Yeah. Lake Anne, my favorite. Hunters Woods, Tall Oaks, South Lakes, and North Point. And within each village center, there are neighborhood clusters. And the setup of this has been so fascinating to me, especially in over 10 years of my career.
Yeah, it's like cauliflower.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, if you love architecture, Reston is definitely for you. Most of the homes have a mid-century or a 70s contemporary vibe, which is just so awesome. I love driving through it. You can get so distracted very easily. And it's remained unchanged since they were built. A lot of the community, they really have held to those guidelines. And so there is such a throwback charm to everything that I love. When you drive through, it's just, you feel like you're driving through a different decade. It's just so
The long arm of the Reston law will come beat you if you change anything about your 70s wood front contemporary.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the things that we love most about Reston. And, the single family home, detached homes can start in the 600s and go into the mid millions. But about half of the homes are in the 800,000 to the 1.1 million range. Yeah.
All right. And so townhomes are anywhere 300s on the low end, and they go up to $1 million. The bulk of them really are, though, in the $400,000 to the $800,000 range. There's also a lot of condos in Reston, the majority of which are in the $200,000 to $600,000 range.
Yeah, and we'll break that down a little bit more, the variety of condos in just a little bit.
Okay, all right. And so homes on the waterfront. So the waterfront, it's not a beach, you're talking about the lake.
Yeah.
So they're going to get a lot higher prices than the other houses that are in the Reston clusters. So you've got single family homes, townhomes, and condos that are waterfront. And this is one of the things that contributes to such the wide range of pricing. So one of the other factors affecting the pricing is whether or not the townhome or single family homes have a garage. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, garages weren't a must have, back in the day. Mm-hmm. And so, the ones that do actually have the garage, even if it is a single garage, do tend to fetch higher prices.
Yeah.
So we've sold both, both on the buy and sell side, and the interest in the ones with the garages are just, it's just like a blood sport sometimes.
Yeah.
So, that's really, that's one of the things that's, people when they move to the suburbs, they really, garage is kind of like one of those must-have items, or it may not be a must-have, but it's like oh my gosh, I would love to have it.
Well, yeah. And I think people leave the city, right, for a few things. A yard, a garage, not having to scrape snow off their car for the random times here that it does snow, which it doesn't a lot, but so.
Yeah, and it creates more demand for those homes, This is also becoming even more true because of electric cars.
Right.
So that's been a big thing. I have clients right now who want to purchase an electric car, and they're looking in Reston, and at first when they were talking, they're like, well, maybe we can run the cord, from the, we can have it put up against the house. And I was like, yeah, try that with the association.
No. Yeah. Spankings all around.
Yes. And maybe down the road, they will be forced to address this in a bigger way. Mm-hmm. But for right now, it really is pushing up the demand for private parking spaces, and they haven't gotten to that point yet where, at least for what I've seen, they haven't gotten to that point of allowing individual plugins at the parking spaces, because you are encroaching on communal space.
Right.
So, that does make it a little more difficult. So, so that really does affect, the competition and the value for the homes.
Yeah, for sure. Condos is kind of the same story. They have a broad range in sales prices. That's really based on whether or not they're located on the water, waterfront, water view, anything like that. Many of the older communities in Reston are going to actually have condo fees that exceed like $600 per month. Yeah. So, when the condo fees are higher, we sort of see that the appreciation is a little bit stunted because it does affect the buyer purchasing power. People seem sort of like okay when condo fees are anywhere between like, whatever, 1 and 3, 400. Once they start to get to 500, 600, people are like, no, that's really affecting my affordability here.
Yeah.
And I tend to not look at them.
And one of the cool things about the condos is the condos in Reston, a lot of them have carports, which is a little bit more unique to this area. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of spots with carports, so that is really cool. And so that does have an effect on the condo fees.
Yeah. So, and then the newer condos are more clustered around Reston Town Center, which is newer. And so they've got the walkability to, all the shopping and entertainment and everything that is in Reston Town Center. We're going to talk about the lifestyle stuff and what it's like to live there in a separate video on the Reston lifestyle. Yeah. But just kind of know that a lot of what we're going to talk about is going to be centered like Lake Anne and the town center. And the walkability factor also affects the prices of the homes, right? So the closer you are to the village centers of Reston Town Center, the more the demand is going to be for your home. And so Reston has kind of done really an excellent job, which is what they wanted. They wanted like a walking, pedestrian friendly community, and that's what they created. And they have very strict rules and strict people that stand by them.
But a lot of our buyers, you know, that are coming from DC, Alexandria, and Arlington, they still want that walkability. So that's driving up that condo competition.
Right.
You know, and so that really is a big deal. But, you know, it's such a cool area, and it's such a kind of a meeting of so many different like energies and vibes, and I don't know. It's just I love to stop in Reston. It's one of my favorite places to be.
So that's Reston. Our contact info is coming next. If you have any questions about that or anything in the area, give us a call.